Insane Clown Posse versus the FBI today on Lawyer Flash. Welcome to Lawyer Flash, where we explain the law. There's law in the news, in government, it's affecting us every day, and it's hard to understand. Don't worry, I'm your host Jon Deer, and I'm here to explain it all. This week, the ACLU assisted hardcore rap duo Insane Clown Posse in suing the FBI. According to the Insane Clown Posse, the FBI wrongfully designated its fan base, known as the Juggalos, as gang members.
Juggalos.
Insane Clown Posse contends their fan base is no different than Grateful Dead followers, known as Deadheads, or Jimmy Buffett followers, known as Parrot Heads. Insane Clown Posse and the ACLU seek to force the FBI to change that gang designation. It's an important civil rights lawsuit, and I'll explain it to you now. The Insane Clown Posse brands their music as horrorcore, and they have an enormous fan base known as the Juggalos. Their enormous fan base, the Juggalos, often wear identifying tattoos, pierced ears, pierced noses, and other identifying marks.
Juggalos.
According to the ACLU's lawsuit, the organizing principle for the Juggalos is appreciation of the Insane Clown Posse and not criminal activity. The lawsuit further alleges that the gang designation was based on a loose federal study that had no evidence of any organized criminal activity for the group as a whole. The lawsuit makes the following claims. First, they say the gang designation violates the First Amendment right to assembly.
First Amendment, how does it work?
The First Amendment protects, among other things, the right of citizens to peaceably assemble. According to the lawsuit, by designating the Juggalos as gang members, they are deprived of that right. According to the lawsuit, the gang designation has scared Juggalos, preventing them from assembling, preventing them from showing up at concerts, and causing them to be hassled by police across the country. Second, they say the gang designation violates the First Amendment right to free speech.
Free speech, how does it work?
That means people are entitled to endorse whatever music they want and follow whatever band they want without interference from the government. According to the lawsuit, by designating the Juggalos as gang members, it prevents them from openly identifying themselves as fans of the Insane Clown Posse or referencing themselves as members of the Juggalos. Third, they say the gang designation violates the Fifth Amendment right to due process.
Fifth Amendment, how does it work?
The Fifth Amendment contains many constitutional guarantees that we rely on to preserve our way of life. One of them is the right not to be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. According to the lawsuit, by designating the Juggalos as gang members based on no evidence, without having heard from the Insane Clown Posse or from the Juggalos themselves, they've been deprived of substantial rights without due process. Due process means the process that is due prior to any deprivation of any of these important rights. According to the lawsuit, even the FBI found only a small number of Juggalos affiliated with any known gangs, and this is not enough evidence to paint a broad brush and label all of the Juggalos as gang members. Now remember, we've only heard from the plaintiffs. The FBI has yet to answer the complaint, and we don't know what evidence they intend to bring and what arguments they intend to make. This is an important civil rights case to follow because if the plaintiffs are correct and there is no real evidence that the group as a whole is affiliated with gang activity, it has important implications for you and me. For example, could the FBI designate attorneys as a criminal organization because some attorneys break the law? If they can, it could prevent attorneys from working on government work, from getting jobs in certain industries, and a whole host of other damages to attorneys. That's why it makes sense to care about whether the FBI gets it right or gets it wrong, even when we're talking about an organization of rock and roll fans like the Juggalos.
Juggalos.
Look forward to a follow-up show down the road after we know what's happening with this lawsuit, and we'll keep you updated. That's our show for this week, and just like the Insane Clown Posse has the Juggalos, we want a name for our fans. If you have a suggestion, please shoot me a tweet on our Twitter feed or post it on our Facebook page. Most importantly, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. I'm your host, Jon Deer. We'll see you here again next week on Lawyer Flash.